All right, welcome everyone. My name is Ron Semmel, and tonight we're going to be doing a mock bid. Mark Pitts and I have done this a few times at local high schools. So this is the first time we're doing it to a bunch of professionals, so I feel like we're preaching to the choir here. So if anything is overly simplistic, I apologize, and vice versa. If something doesn't work, there's 4 coaches that are going to help various teams. You're going to take a handout for your trade, and you're going to take a set of drawings for your trade. The bid period is 40 minutes, and it's going to be very formal. It is actually due at the 40-minute. You have to cross your T's, dot your I's, fill out the bid form, fill out everything properly, otherwise your bid is invalid. So this is to give you a flavor of what the bid environment is like. All right, so what is it like to be an estimator? Companies live and die by your numbers, so no pressure. All right, when I got into architecture, I was warned, this is 30 years ago, I was warned that there's a new thing called CAD. And I should go find another profession because CAD is going to eliminate the need for the architect in the workplace. And that of course didn't happen. And it's not going to happen to the estimating profession. It's just a tool.
My name is Jacob Dyer. I'm with Gulf Seaboard. We're going to go over the estimating from the general contractor point of view. The way I take it, estimating really is an educated guess. We have tools, we have historical data, we have each other building a relationship to put together a bid, and that's really how we build the project as well. Essentially, through the process of estimating, we seek out for an invitation. What's out to bid? We seek that out from owners, clients, that sort of thing, and we look into a project that we might have some potential interest into. We get the documents, we review them, and then once we review those documents, from what Mark said, if there needs to be a clarification, we need to go ahead and get it to the architect or engineer immediately, so we're all bidding on the same stuff. The next portion, once you have reviewed your plans and documents, you need to make sure that you have everything included from those documents themselves. You've got to list all items: painting, drywall, site, MEP. You have to go through it, list all of them, make sure you know who the players are. Regards to your bid package, you can call it whatever you like, but you bundle it up, put a ribbon on it, you're putting a package together so that when the day of bid comes, you'll be prepared. Your takeoff, put some pricing with it, come together on how much it's going to cost for whatever you do self-perform and the other items as well. Make sure you include your general conditions. Go through the general requirements, all in Division 1. Does it apply to the project? It's in the book. You got to think about it. You got to cover it. And then the day comes. It's game day. Biggest thing that has been told to me, be prepared. Go through every nook and cranny, every corner. Uplift everything, be prepared. Sub-pricing, shoot, it comes in even after the bid. And then, after you settle down a little bit, because it gets a little crazy, you relax, you go through your bid. How'd you do against your competition? Did you leave anything on the table? Did you double up somewhere? Could you have done the project differently? Phasing, scheduling. Were you a little heavy here when you didn't really need to be? Just get all your pricing in on time. Well, we get it all the time. People's prices come in afterwards and you can't use it. You can't go back. The positive, you ended up winning the project. The first thing is to double check. Second thing is to triple check. You gotta look back, gotta make sure you're comfortable, because there's only a small window. If you have a mistake, there's only a very small window to show that you've made a mistake.
I'm Don Wood. Glad to see everyone here. and I'm a CPE, have been for 2 years now. Was one of the founding members of the Richmond chapter of ASPE, and it's really a great organization. Documents are absolutely essential. Everybody's using electronic plan rooms now. You may or may not get the latest revisions. It's absolutely essential that you confirm that you have the proper and latest documents. The highest priority of the estimate function has got to be coordination and the dialogue. It's got to start from day one. It's got to be continuous, and it has got to be complete. There is so much room for error during the bid process. That's where most of the mistakes are made. They're not made in the field, they're made during the bid process. So when you have a very, very particular look that your architect is looking for, you got to be making sure that you're getting the right price on the right fixtures. There may be alternatives out there for you. Substitute packages, you got to be real careful of that. A lot of architects and engineers require prior approval in writing up to 90 days prior to bid time to make sure that you're providing the correct package. You've got to wade through that, make an educated guess, make a phone call if you have time, but ultimately the decision to go with a particular package is absolutely critical. That means whether you make money or lose money on the front end of your project. Definitely don't want to be in a negative position. Operations and general contractors that you're working with, and as a subcontractor, you're probably working with multiple general contractors. There may be schedule changes. The general decides that he wants to do this instead of that, as he originally thought. May have a direct impact on what your cost is going to be and how your project is phased and or scheduled. The other thing you need to really, really be careful of is last minute addendum. Those are kind of always waiting in the wings, and we're all subject to them. So you need to be aware of that, look at it very carefully, decide if it's going to affect your overall price. There are several ways of dealing with that, and that'll be discussed further on our presentation.
Hi everyone, my name is Mark Pitts. I'm a CPE. It's the day after we just did a bid. When I received a phone call, I answered the phone, and what I hear is, "Hi, I'm Joe with ABC Drywall. Hey, I just heard you're low on that St. Francis Medical Center, and I know I didn't get you a bid, but we didn't have enough time. We were wrapping up the Meadowbrook High School. But is there anything I could do? Is there anything I can do to help you?" I started thinking about it, and I realized that as we were wrapping up that bid, I had a very prominent drywall contractor that I used frequently, and just before the bid closed, about 4 minutes to go, he called me and said he had discovered a math error. He didn't have enough time to correct it. He had to withdraw his bid. My next bid is $15,000 lower than that. There's not enough time to make a change because I've already turned in a bid to the bid runner, and it's going to go in. So now I'm sitting there running through these thoughts. I'm low on the bid. I've got a mistake. I've got a drywall guy saying he wants to give me a number. I know his general superintendent. He's telling me if he doesn't get a job, the superintendent, who I know has just had a young child, may end up getting laid off. I'm thinking about an awful lot of things. But now I stop. What are ethics? What really are ethics? They all have a very similar core that occurs to them. And the things I would point out right here on this one is it distinguishes between good and evil, between right and wrong, between virtuous and non-virtuous. But they all come back to fairness, honesty, integrity. Would it be fair for me, after the fact here now, to cover a mistake that I made in a bid by taking a bid from some other drywall contractor? If I did accept that from him, wouldn't he always question in the future whether or not he gave me a bid? Was it safe with me? And if I did take it, am I being fair with the guy who is now low, who did give me a bid in time that I had? But the most important thing is that internal clock in you, that internal compass that you point to do what you know is right. And you know what's right. Your mother taught you what was right when you were 10 years old. There's 4 things that we're told we can't do. You can't bid shop. Bid shopping is, I have a number, I'm going to go out and see if I can't beat that number. I'm going to find somebody else to do that number. No. I can't bid peddle. I can't find out that I wasn't the low bidder and now call up somebody else and say, well, you know, I could lower my price by $10,000 or something. I'm just peddling a bid. Collusion's against the law. In fact, if 2 contractors are bidding on a job, and even if I know the estimator for the other contractor, if during the time from when that proposal is released until the bid goes in, I can't even call him. If I pick up the phone and call him, even if it's about something incidental, that our wives know each other and we want to go out and go to a concert, you want to go to a concert. If anybody ever subpoenas those telephone records, it's prima facie evidence that we colluded because I placed a call from one business to the other business during the time that a bid was going on. Your ethics are to communicate everything that's going on with all the team players. And I promise you, you'll sleep better tonight than you did the night before once you put it out on paper.
And so we will have HVAC, electric, concrete, a general contractor, masonry, roofing, and plumbing.
Bidding started.
Bidding has begun. 40 minutes.
Obviously,
That is tools. That's going to include wear and tear on drill motors, drill bits, etc.
So decide if you're going to use it or not. Make sure it meets spec if you use it. But remember, all of these are material only.
Call it 2.
We're looking at fixtures,
All right, well, wait,
pipe,
hold on one
and the
second.
hot
Where's
water.
the spec?
That's
Fly ash, by weight. This is 20% flash, right?
Roofing supply prices.
Addenda, all subs, talk to your GCs about the addenda information.
Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Most beforehand.
I would highly recommend that one of our generals pull his number because he forgot to add up the numbers on the bid form for the total. And
Didn't
so
add the site
it
work in.
should have been
The 420.
2.4 million roughly, as opposed to our winner, because that's by default, 2.5 million.
Our award was based on who was closest to the actual, not who was lowest. I mean, all things
Yes.
being equal, we were going to award based on who was closest to the actual number.
Yep. Which is still ABC. So.
Congrats.